Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Angela Thomas Smith, your Walk in Purpose Strategist host. Thank you for tuning in to the Kingdom Influences Broadcasting Network with Angela Thomas Smith. I want to thank you guys for tuning in this morning. We're going to have a awesome guest this morning. He's going to be sharing his walk and his purpose. And I thank God for him this morning. Before we get started, I just want to go into prayer, and then I'll share his bio, and then we will go from there. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Walk in Purpose with your Purpose Strategies, Angela Thomas Smith, the founder and CEO of AALAC, the African American Author Literacy Awareness Campaign Organization. Father God, in the name of Jesus, I thank you. I thank you once again for allowing us this opportunity to come before you, Lord God. Lord, I thank you for this platform that you allowed and opened the door for us to be a part of, Lord God. Lord, I thank you for the visionary of this broadcast system, Lord God. Lord, I ask that as we come forth over the airwaves, Lord God, that this message reach who it needs to reach, Lord God. Lord, I ask that you would use us on this day, Lord God, to minister to your people, Lord God. Lord, I thank you because this is a day that was not promised us, Lord God, but you gave us another opportunity to walk in our purpose based on Jeremiah 29:11, because you said that you had a plan for our lives to prosper us, for us to be in good health, for us to have hope in the future. And I hope in our future lives in you, Lord God. So, Lord, I thank you for this opportunity to interview Mr. McKenzie, Lord God. And Lord, I ask that you touch him in a special way, Lord God. As he pour out into your people on today, Lord God, I ask that you fill him up for his next mission, Lord God. These things I ask in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I thank you, Mr. McKenzie, for being a part of our show on today. Mr. McKenzie, Leroy McKenzie Jr., he's actually the president and CEO of JNF Enterprises, which is a distribution, publishing, and business consulting firm located out of Baltimore, Maryland. Mr. Leroy, how are you doing this morning?
I am doing absolutely fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. And I just thank you for taking time out your schedule to be a part of our show this morning. My desire is to help individuals to walk in their purpose and to identify their purpose. And I'm just excited to have you on the show this morning. I was just looking over your bio, and you have 7 books to share. That is amazing. That is amazing. So I know you've been busy doing a lot.
Just a little bit.
Well, it's a good thing staying busy. I'll tell you, it's a good thing staying busy.
Oh, yeah,
but I was looking, I see that you're also a speaker, entrepreneur, and a brand expert.
Yes, yes.
I like the one with the book with the youth.
Oh, the young
one
and
that's talking
gifted?
about young and gifted, the young generation of entrepreneurship. That book has to be a must-read. I'm an advocate for pushing youth to walk into their purpose and to be successful at a young age. I had a nonprofit organization before I started doing AALAC, and we used to work with youth, and my motto was, you can be successful now. You don't have to wait until you're an adult. So I implemented what I call the E3 experience to encourage our kids. So with the E3 experience, it's educate, empower, and encourage. So we would educate them. We would bring in people to host workshops to empower them and to keep them motivated. And then I constantly encourage them. I let them know that, you can do this now. And I would bring in young people that were doing things and thriving and, doing things. I said, you don't have to wait till you old like me to discover your purpose and to walk in your purpose. I say, discover what your passion is now. What is that one thing that makes you so happy on the inside when you want to go do it? And it may not be something that's glamorous. It may not be something that's going to bring in a whole lot of money, because with me, my passion is service, is serving people and helping people. And, that's not going to bring in a lot of money.
Absolutely.
So,
and the thing
I try to get kids involved. So, Mr. McKenzie, tell me a little bit about yourself. Have you always lived in Maryland? Did you grow up in Maryland?
Actually, born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. I've pretty much been here all of my life. I've done internships and stuff like that away from here, but my life has been here, been here in Baltimore, Maryland. So it's where I grew up. What I've enjoyed, loved I have always loved the area. And enjoyed this particular space. I've always said that Maryland is so strategically placed because we don't get the full brunt most of the time of winters. Because by the time storms come up from the south, they have to come through the mountains when they come from the south, and then when the storms come from the north, they have to come through the mountains. So by the time it gets to Maryland, it's usually it's pretty the storms are pretty much died down. And we'll get our share of storms here and there and stuff like that, but usually our winters are pretty mild. So that's what I enjoy about this particular area, because it'll get cold, but we don't get that crazy inclement weather that the north may get as far as the snowstorms and then the tornadoes and hurricanes and stuff that you all get down south and stuff. So I enjoy this particular area about it. But grew up here, born and raised here, and started went to school at the University of Maryland, Eastern Shore, here as well. So went to school down on the Eastern Shore, and have been, had just grown up and lived here my adult life.
Wow. I also see that you wrote a book about customers are not always right.
Yes. That was actually my first book out of the business book series that I wrote, the Building the 21st Century Company book series. The customer's not always right. Yeah. It was a book that I wrote when I was working in corporate America. When because as I found myself as I was working in corporate America, just finding that that corporate America wasn't being run, I felt like, the way that it should be. Leadership was, to me, at a pretty much almost an all-time low, as far as people being in positions of leadership and not understanding what leadership was. I talked with many people, and one including myself, that were just unhappy with being on the jobs that they were on, basically just working to get a paycheck. So my thinking was, what is it that these companies are doing? And I felt like organizations, and this was probably like the mid to late 90s, and individuals were early 2000s, when companies were really going in. You had a lot of bankruptcies that were going on, and businesses were being run into the ground. And they weren't being run effectively. So I wanted to develop a book that kind of showed businesses how they could and should, I thought, run their businesses better, and ways that they could be able to create a healthy work environment, maximize their productivity, and then increase their bottom line. Because I thought that those are the three vital elements of a successful business. You can look at any successful business model, and I guarantee you it will have those three elements to it. The environment that the employees are in, the productivity that they get out of the employees that work for them, and then their bottom line. So I created that, just from that premise, and wanted businesses to be successful. So that's where that book came from. The Customer's Always Right. The title came from just the idea that we were taught. We've always been taught that the customer's always right. Well, I came with the adage that no, the customer's not always right, but they do come first. They come first in what we do, first in our service that we give to them, making sure that we have a quality product, that we're giving them the good service that they need, but they're not always right in the things that they say, things that they do, even the things that we may want as customers. And I include myself in that, in the things that we may want as customers. So that's where that came from, and it caught people's attention. What do you mean that, the customer's not always right? The customer's always supposed to be right. No, we're not. We're not always right in the expectations and the things that we may ask for or require in being customers. So it came from that premise, and sometimes I've even been that customer that thought I was always right. So
Yeah, we tend to think that whether we are correct or not, because that's what we've been taught, that we're always right. As a customer, we've been taught that you're always right, so no matter what. And I deal with customers every day, all day, so I truly understand. We was just having this conversation, me and some of my coworkers were just having this conversation the other day, and we were saying sometimes the customers just ain't right. I said, because what she just did was just not right. And I sit back. I work in hospitality and restaurants. I'm a crew trainer. I train new members of the crew, so there's a lot of we deal with a lot of high school kids because that's usually what they use to staff our evening shifts is high school kids, and weekend shift is high school kids. So that's a whole nother interview there dealing with the kids. But I try to teach them, no, you're not an adult, but you're going to be put in situations where, these people on the other side of the counter are not going to care that the fact that you are a child.
Right.
I say anytime anybody makes you feel uncomfortable, I say you go get a manager. Because that's one thing as a teenager and a child in high school and working a job, you shouldn't have to go under any extra stress. So if anytime anybody makes you feel uncomfortable, you should directly go to a member of management and let a member of management handle that customer. Don't even try to handle that customer, because our motto at our company is whatever you can do first before you pass it off to a manager, to take care of it before you pass it off to a manager. And that's something that, may be too overwhelming for a teenager.
Right. And I've always had that. Yeah, because I've always had that approach too. As far as being in a management position, I've always told whether they were a young adult, young kid that was working, or whether it was just another employee, I always let them know, come get me. I'll take care of them. I'll take care of the customer. I don't want you, like you said, I don't want you in a uncomfortable position to have to deal with someone that's irate or whatever. I'll take that. I'll take that, because to me that's what leadership is about, and that's what being in a management position is about. Your employees shouldn't have to deal with that. Yeah, you want them to be empowered enough to take care of the situation if they can, but once you've done what you need, all that you feel like you can do, and it's gotten to that point where you feel no longer comfortable, then come get me, let me deal with it, and we'll take it from there. Because you never want your employees to be in that kind of position.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because then it takes them to another level, especially those high school kids. This is something totally different for them. And then most of them, that's their first job. So, You know, it's a learning experience for them. And I want them to have a good learning experience, because I want them to be able to take these gifts and these tools and these skills that they learn on this job and to be able to apply it to life. You know, when they come in there, you know, I meet them at the door, because I want them to know that this is not your end, that you still got a whole lot more out there to pursue. Go to college. Go get you a 2-year degree, get you a 4-year degree. Do not let this be your stopping place.
Right, absolutely.
You know, and while they're there and while they're in my presence, I try to teach them things that will help them with the real world. Right. And I have people all the time say, well, why are you working at that place? Because that's where God sent me. And until he tells me to move, I have to be obedient. And I have to be obedient to what he say do. So that's why I'm still there. But, yeah, I thought that was very interesting, and I think a lot of people may need to pick that book up that's working in customer service, so they can really realize that, you know, no, I am doing a good job. And, no, customers are not always right, but they're always first.
Right.
So, yeah, exactly. I like that. I'm just sitting here just looking over your list. But I thank God for you on this morning. I just want to ask you a question. What does purpose mean to you?
Wow, that's a great question. Purpose to me means understanding what it is that I was put here to do. And what I mean by that is there's two defining days that we should have in our lives. That's the day that we're born, and then the day that we discover why. Where you discover why you were put here, why you have to do what it is that you do, and what gives you meaning is what purpose means to me. That's what where purpose is understanding that it doesn't matter what anybody else says about you, what anybody else thinks about you, how anybody else sees you, that you were meant to do what it is that you're doing. People may think it's the craziest thing in the world, but you know that is what you were meant to do. And you talked a little bit about it earlier with what you do. You know that you were born to serve. That's you. That's understanding what your purpose is, and understanding that everything that you do has to do with serving others. With mine, it's to enlighten. My purpose is to enlighten, to empower, and to impact individuals. And everything that I do has to do with that purpose. Everything that I do is wrapped around those three things. That's the purpose that I have. I have to teach you something, I have to equip you with something, and I have to impact you with something, and in some kind of way where you can take what it is that you gain from me, that encounter that you have with me, and you can take that and use that to be able to either teach someone or show someone what it is that you now have because you've had an encounter with me. That's what purpose means to me.
So, did you know as a child that you wanted to be an author and that you wanted to be in leadership, be an entrepreneur, be a speaker? I mean, all the stuff that you do. Did you know that as a child that's what you wanted to do?
I knew that I was going to be and wanted to be an entrepreneur. Now, if you had asked me, did it entail writing? Did it entail speaking? I would have told you no. Now, the leadership, yes, because I think entrepreneurship comes with leadership. Entrepreneurship entails leadership. I don't think there's an entrepreneur that's not a leader.
Exactly.
So those kind of two are intertwined to me. But the form that it took on, as far as writing the books and having and speaking, that part, no, I can honestly say no, because I was and I still am. People that know me won't think this, but those that may not know me, I'm a quiet person. I'm a very quiet, reserved, just very introverted person. So the speaking and all of that stuff, that I'd have told you, no, I'm not trying to be a speaker, speak nowhere. I just want to do what I do, and that's it. But the writing, the writing came from actually, honestly, when I was in college. I wrote poetry. My first 2 books were books of poetry. And it was just a form and a way of me getting out what I was feeling and some things that I'd experienced or friends had experienced, just life things that I wanted to write that I had to get out of me. So that came along. And then when the business book series came along, that kind of put me even more, because now all of a sudden, when you become a writer, you can't write without speaking, to me. They go together. I think that people who think that they're going to be authors and they're not going to be speakers, I'm like, you kind of, no, you can't be an author without being a speaker, because they go together. If you write a book, people don't want to hear you speak, and you should want to speak. So you should want to speak.
Exactly. I tell people that all the time. Mm-hmm. There's so many authors out there, and they just pumping out books, but they're not doing anything with them. Right. And I'm just like, okay, you writing books is not going to make you a millionaire. It's the things that you do along with the books that could get you the income. Exactly. So that's one of the important things as the founder of AALAC that I really push with AALAC is trying to find your voice. When we do events, we have workshops. We have people that come in and teach workshops on taking your book to a motivational speaking platform, turning your book into a movie or a play, branding and marketing. We have people that come in that teach you how to design a program around your book, memberships around your books, just different things that could possibly help you get an opportunity to get paid for speaking engagements or get booked for different things. So it's very important. My motto for 2018 is to take authors from inside the box to outside the box, expanding their brand. And I like that. Get them thinking more outside the box, because some of us have never left our home state. But you're an author and you have an audience across the country, but you are not going across the country to speak to your audience. They follow you because they follow your story. They want to know more about you, so they follow you. But if you're not going to that area and you're not meeting with them and sharing with them in person, then some people, they may not want to follow you no more.
Right.
So my goal with AALAC was, because we have authors all over the place, was to connect with those authors in all those places and to bring these events to them and provide these opportunities for them. Because then you have people in the area also that desire to write, want to write, and don't know what to do. And people are so afraid of sharing and supporting each other. It's sad. I tell people all the time, in order to get support, you have to give support. So who are you supporting in 2018? Who are you supporting? Like that. Are you supporting the people that you want to support you, or are you just supporting yourself? Because when I asked the question, I asked, what was your goal for 2018? Just name 3 things that you're going to work on to expand your brand for 2018. Well, a lot of people responded, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I want this. I want this. I want this. Okay. I'm going to sell 100 books. Okay, you got to go 100 books. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Unless you're going to buy all your books, unless you got mega coins, because it's going to take money to do events when you can partner with people and cut the costs. so many people are caught up in the spirit of competition.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unreal. The spirit of competition will kill you. It will kill you. Nobody wants to support each other, and that's sad. I really have a stickler for networking and collaborations. That was another reason why I started the organization, was to let people know that we can come together, we can work together, and we're here, we write, and we're not going anywhere. So you will see a lot of us in the upcoming years.
And the thing is, too, that I want authors to understand, and just business and entrepreneurs in general, to understand the importance of partnerships. And you talked about branding, branding yourself. What are you going to do to brand yourself in 2018? Part of branding is partnerships, because it's partnering with other individuals that may not necessarily, they can either do the same thing that you do, or may bring something that you don't necessarily do. And you all come together to do something together, and both of you win. It's a win-win situation. It could be two businesses that come together. It's a win-win, because you bring your particular following to the table. They bring their particular following to the table, and each of you get the exposure that you would not get if you did not partner with each other. That's a major thing that folks have to understand. That networking and partnerships, that goes a long way with being able to grow yourself as an author, as a speaker, and like you said, we got to get out of this mindset of selfishness and saying it's all about me. I don't want to give you, my resources. I don't want to give you my knowledge that I have, because if I share it with you, then I'm afraid that you're going to outshine me. It's not even about that. If you do what you're supposed to do, if you be who it is that you're supposed to be, you won't even have to worry about somebody outshining you, because they're not going to do what you do the way that you do it. Exactly. So it's not about, it's not about outshining each other. We both win if we work together. Because I promise anybody that when you surround yourself with individuals that aren't afraid to share their information, share their knowledge, share their resources, and you do the very same thing, I guarantee you both of you will win.
Yeah,
I promise
and
you
will. You will. You will. I tell you, I've had issues with people in the past because they say that I share too much, and sometimes I may do, but I feel like God didn't give me. He didn't bless me with the knowledge and wisdom just to sit on it. It wasn't for me to just sit on. It was for me to share. Mm-hmm. And I truly believe in Jeremiah 29, because he didn't only have a plan for me. He had a plan for you and everyone else.
Exactly.
So if God is who he say he is, and his word is what it say it is, then why should I fret? Why should I fear when he's told me he had a plan for me? So his plan for me is not the same plan that he had for you, because no two plans are alike. They may be similar. Like you said, they may be similar, but they're never alike, just like twins. They may look alike, but they have their own personalities.
Exactly. And we do have to understand that there are people that will try to take advantage of you. That's just the nature of human beings. You're going to have those individuals that may try. But to me, I can't worry about them. I can't worry about those kind of folks out there, because they're going to be out there, and they're going to try and do that. That's on them. That's not on me. Because I know if I'm genuine in what I'm doing, God, like you just said, God will honor that. God will honor that. And hey, if you're supposed to get that information, then you're supposed to get it. There's nothing that you can do about it, because it's meant for you to get it. It's meant for me to get it. Whatever it is, it's meant for me to be there. It's meant for you to be there, and do whatever it is that is supposed to happen with it. So yeah, those, that working, by being an individual and having a selfish attitude and a selfish mindset, I can't have that in 2018. That's not a part of my 2018 agenda. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
So
collaboration, partnership, and expansion. That's what everybody should have on their mind in 2018. Yep. They need to be trying to figure out how they can collaborate with more people, how they can partner with more people, and how they can expand their brand. They need to be at the top of everybody's list. It needs to be they theme for 2018. How can I collaborate? How can I partner with somebody? How can I expand my brand? Yeah. And I guarantee you we all to reach a whole lot of people, because you got to think there's billions and billions of people in the world. And we probably make up 1/10 of those billions of people. Mm-hmm. So there's so many people out there and so many people that have experienced different walks of life, different people in different fields, different careers, whatever it is. There's so many different people out there that one person cannot reach. Mm-hmm. So it's going to take us coming together and pulling our resources together and pulling our heads together and coming to the round table and sitting down and say, okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this in this area, and we're wanting to reach this person, and come up with a plan and get to it.
Yeah. And there's so much power in the partnerships and collaboration. It's that you create more leverage, and even as an industry, you know what I'm saying, even as a publishing and writing industry, when you work collectively, you're stronger than trying to work individually. You know, and people got to understand the dynamics of where the industry is and where it's going, and the benefit of collaborating and working with other individuals, and how much that helps.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, I would like for you to leave the listening audience with some tips, because you shared some great things with me on today, and those that are listening, leave some tips with them on how they could walk in their purpose. Encourage them today of how they can walk in their purpose.
I'll leave them with this. My motto, like you, I do a motto for each year, and my motto for this year in 2018 is I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission in 2018 to accomplish things. And I did, and what I do for my clients is I had a personal assessment sheet, and I had a business assessment sheet. And what I challenged them to do and challenged myself to do is within those assignment sheets, or within those sheets, I had what I called my assignments. It's not goals. It's not what you call those things that folks do, that New Year's resolutions. I have assignments that I have to do this year. What are at least a minimum of 10 assignments that you want to do, that you want to achieve in 2018 on a personal level and on a business level? Those 10 assignments. You start with that premise. Start with that premise and what you want to do, and you break those assignments down into how you're going to achieve them. From assignment 1 to assignment 10, how are you going to go about achieving? What do you need to do if it's financially? Like you mentioned one thing about finances, with your financially. If you want to achieve a certain goal for your business financially for this year, what are you going to do? What do you need to do month to month, week to week, day to day in order to be able to achieve that goal? What do you need to do personally for your vision? What's your vision for your business? We talked about purpose. If your purpose is to enlighten, empower, and impact, how are you going to enlighten, empower, and impact someone this year? What events are you going to be at? Those 10 assignments give you the structure for what you're going to do, what you need, what you want to do, because my mission this year is to make people better by December of 2018 than they were at the end of December of 2017. So
Amen.
What do I need to do to get people there? That means I've got to put you in a position in order to be able to be better in December 2018. That means I've got to challenge you. That means I've got to have you do those particular assignments that you want to achieve in 2018. And by the December, you'll be better if you achieve those assignments. That's
Amen. Well, I need to get my worksheet. And I know some of the listeners are listening in, and they're wondering, okay, I want to participate. I want to get my worksheets. How can they get their worksheets from you? How can they get involved in your program? How can they find out more? So can you share with us your websites, your social media links, your email address, any way that the listeners can contact you, and where we may purchase your book as well?
Sure. They can actually go to my website, which is www.jnf. That's J as in Jesus, N as in never, F as in fail. JNF Enterprises. That's what JNF stands for. JNFenterprises.com. That's the website. The email address is jnfenterprises@yahoo.com. The social media, I'm on Facebook. You can look me up under JNF Enterprises or my name, Leroy McKenzie Jr. Instagram is @JNF Enterprises. Twitter is @JNF Enterprises 1. Any of those ways you can contact me. The books as well. You can get the books on there as well as the worksheet. The worksheets as well. Just shoot me an email or message and say, hey, I'm interested in getting an assessment sheet, personal assessment sheet or business assessment sheet or both of them. So that I can be on a mission in 2018, because that's what it's about for me. So that's how they can reach me.
Amen. I tell you, I have truly enjoyed listening to you share on today, and I have taken in some valuable information. I will be reaching out for both of my sheets because I want to get assessed, and I am definitely on a mission for 2018 and the years to come. God has truly been good to me, and I'm on a mission to reach as many people and share His goodness and His glory with as many people as I can on every platform that He gives me. In addition to trying to bring awareness to African-American authors. He gave me that mission, and I'm definitely on that mission. But I have also to bring glory to Him and to share His goodness with people across the kingdom. I want to thank you for joining us today. I don't know if you're connected with me on Facebook, but I would love for you to connect with the organization, AALAC. We're doing some great things, and I would love for you to be a part of what we're doing. So reach out to me on Facebook.
Absolutely.
So you can stay connected. To the listeners, if you would like to connect with me, you always can find me on Facebook at Angela Thomas Smith, or the Lady with the Vision, Angela Thomas Smith, the author. I also have an email address. It's 3ALAC2016@gmail.com. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Walk in Purpose with Angela. I am Angela Thomas Smith, your purpose strategist, and I want to thank you for sharing with us one more time. We'll see you next Monday, 9 a.m. Thank you. Have a great day.